Welcome to Stick at Night. I'm your Hudson County Commissioner, Anthony L. Romano, representing the great cities of Hoboken and Jersey City. With me today is a guest of someone that's involved with a cause that should be important to each and every one of us. He's the Executive Director of Home at Last, which helps our veterans. And as we all know, the veterans have given so much and continue to give so much to this country. So we have here today Lucas Reyes. Lucas, welcome to Stick at Night.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on your show tonight, and of course, I'm very, very grateful.
Tell us about your title and the name of your organization again that I mentioned, and what it's about.
Yes. So, Home at Last is a non-for-profit organization. It was formerly known as Vets EDU. When we first started out, we started working specifically with service members and veterans, and we help educate them on their VA home loan benefits as well as navigate them through the home buying process. Now we've expanded to other thin line heroes such as police officers, firefighters, doctors, teachers, first responders, and the likes. So those same education and resources that we provide veterans, we also now provide to thin line heroes. I got involved with the organization at the beginning of last year when Michael Aharoni, the founder of the organization, asked me to come on and work with him. And that's how I became the executive director.
Where are you based out of?
So we're based out of Long Island, New York, but we are a nationwide organization.
Nationwide. Now tell us what you're doing here in our county, in Hudson County.
Yeah, so again, because we are a nationwide organization, we have a heavy presence in New York and in different states as well. Now that I reside here in New Jersey, I wanted to have a heavy presence here in New Jersey as well, work with the veterans, work with the other thin line heroes so that we can provide them with the same resources that we do with veterans.
Well, for example, in Hoboken, we have American Legion Post 107. In Jersey City, we have a few different posts. And a lot of those veterans are up there in years. What can you do for them, or have you made the connections with them?
Yeah. So I have not made the connection with American Legion or VFW. DAV we have, right? For them, this is an older generation, so for the most part, they're already homeowners, right? So what we can do for them is to protect them from churning, which is it's a type of financial scams that is prevalent in today's real estate market. Congresswoman Katie Porter wrote about it. So we can give them the information to protect themselves from churning, from refinancing that may not be beneficial to them. So those are the services that we offer to them.
So you're basically helping veterans that own homes already. You also help them to buy homes.
That is correct. So we primarily help buyers or veterans looking to purchase homes and navigate the VA home loan, and as well as veterans who currently own homes.
So they would go to your location and get help at your office. Do you come out to them? How does that work? How do you make the connection?
Yeah, so for the most part, we come out to them. We host a lot of workshops. We work with different other VSOs, veteran service organizations. We work with pro-veteran companies. We come out to them, host workshops. Since the pandemic, we've done it virtually, so a lot of
workshops with regards to home buying.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
So what if a veteran doesn't own a home? Is there any services that you can offer to them?
Absolutely. We help them learn about their VA home loan benefits, as well as that because we've partnered up with other VSOs that offer different services that we don't provide, we always recommend.
Now, for the benefit of our audience, VSO is Veteran Service Organizations. Correct?
That is correct. We've partnered up with Wounded Warrior Project, IAVA, Unite Us, Air Force Wounded Warrior. So they offer a lot of different services that we don't provide. And if we can't help that veteran, then we will point them in the right direction.
Now, do you disperse financial aid at all? How does that?
We do not. We hope in the future that we can get to that point where we can start helping veterans with closing costs, down payment assistance as well, even though they may not need it because the VA home loan does not require down payment. But we would love to get to the point where we can help them with closing costs.
Where would you be reached? Do you have an office in Hudson County?
We do not. They can call us directly. If they have questions, we can have Zoom meetings. We can talk on the phone.
But this is your area, correct?
Yes.
You're in charge of, I'm assuming, the metropolitan area?
Yeah, I'm pretty much in charge with doing a lot of outreach. Because I reside here in New Jersey, it's easy for me to come out.
So you have, I'm assuming, then Bergen and Hudson counties?
I don't have physical locations in Bergen County. What I can do is...
No, but I mean, you're responsible. If a veteran is looking for help with a home loan from Bergen or Hudson County, they can approach you.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so before we finish up today, I want you to, give your information out for the benefit of our audience. And I'd also like to introduce you to the veteran organizations in Hoboken and Jersey City. I think that's important. The veterans have gone through so much that come back, from Iraq, Afghanistan, our newest veterans. They go through some, health crisis. And do you do anything in that area with them?
No. So we primarily focus only on VA home loan benefits and home ownership. That area we direct to IAVA, Wounded Warrior, of course, because they help with those services. So we like to be distinguished just based off what the services we offer. So there's many other,
How old is the organization?
From 2017, it's about 5 to 6 years.
And the gentleman that you said is the founder, what is he now, the president of the board? Or?
So now he's just the founder. He's gone off to do a couple of, run off to do other, build other organizations, excuse me. So he's left me to run Home at Last. So he only comes in and does the work behind the scenes, paperwork, the finances, that sort of stuff. So he's not really...
And that's based out of New York?
That is based out of New York, that is correct.
And then your background, you're a veteran.
I am.
Thank you for your service, United States Army. Okay, and you, or as you said, a forward observer.
That's right.
Okay, so how many years did you serve?
So I served 3 years active duty. I'm currently in the National Guard, and I'm coming up on my 10th year contract.
Wow. And now, when you were active, where were you, overseas or here?
I was overseas. I was stationed in Fort Polk, Louisiana, but I did 9 months in Gitmo or Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay, Gitmo.
That's right.
And that's an interesting assignment.
Yes, for a forward observer, but at the end of the day...
Interesting, isn't it usually considered a Marine base, right?
That is correct.
So it's good to see there's an integration with the services there.
Yes. There has been, the assignments have actually been diverse at that time. So, when I was there, I saw a lot of Navy, Marines, Air Force, and Army. So there's definitely a different population of different branches.
So when you came out, how did you meet the owner of this? Well, when we come back from our commercial break, I'd like you to tell us about how you got involved with Home at Last and any success stories in Hudson County, especially in my area, of people that you have helped get loans to purchase homes, because that really is a noble thing to do. And that happened after World War II, too, where when the veterans came back, they had opportunities for college loans and for home loans. I'm your County Commissioner, Anthony Romano, from the great studios of Pat O'Melia. We'll come back to Stick at Night right after this commercial break with a very important guest who takes care of people that we should always honor and never forget, our veterans. Thank you.
We have to be able to police ourselves because we don't want anybody to tarnish our badge.
When internal affairs complaints are not handled properly, the public may believe that most officers commit crimes, when in fact that's not true. Most officers are professional. Most officers do not commit crimes.
If complaints aren't taken properly and the community that we serve doesn't have a trust in the police department, I mean, there has to be legitimacy. If the community doesn't trust the police, how could we effectively serve them? And by having a really comprehensive internal affairs unit that handles the complaints properly and people have trust in the system, it enables us to do our entire job as a police department much better.
We need the community as much as they need us. So that citizen that has lost trust in the community could be a very important witness for us tomorrow.
Hudson TMA reminds you that before you ride, you should perform the ABC Quick Check. Here's how to do it.
You don't want your bike to fail you, so get in the habit of doing the ABC Quick Check before you ride. A is for air. Check that your tires are properly inflated. They should be pumped up to the inflation rating printed on the tire. Many bicycle pumps come with a pressure gauge, so you can make sure they're properly inflated. Low pressure tires can easily puncture. B is for brakes. Check that your brakes are working. Your brake lever shouldn't come closer than a thumb's width to the handlebar. Your wheel should spin freely when the brakes are off. C is for the cranks, chain, and cassette. Grab both crank arms like this and wiggle them to make sure they aren't loose. spin the pedals, and make sure the chain runs smoothly through the gears. Quick means making sure your wheels are on tight if you have quick release wheels. The wheels should be snug in the dropouts and the quick release lever fastened tight.
Welcome back to Stick at Night. Let's continue with Lucas Reyes, who's the Executive Director of Home at Last, a veterans organization that helps our veterans to purchase and buy on homes, and continue what you were telling us, Lucas. So is there how involved are you here in Hudson County?
So we just started penetrating Hudson County, Bergen County, so now we're looking to expand and do a lot more work here in Hudson County.
Now, when you say do a lot more work, how? Do you advertise on TV? Do you go to the different city halls do you go to outreach to veterans organizations? For example, in Hoboken and Jersey City, there's a couple of organizations. In Hoboken, it's American Legion. In Jersey City, Bayonne, you have VFW's, Catholic War Veterans also. So how do you get outreach to them? How are they supposed to know about you?
It's a good question, definitely a good question. We don't do promotion. What I've been doing is reaching out to other veteran service organizations because they already have an established presence here.
Right.
So I have reached out to American Legion. I have reached out to DAV. I have reached out to the VFWs. I have reached out to the county veteran service agencies. And I'm here having conversations with them. I'm meeting with them to see how we can collaborate together and put the resources in education.
Well, I hope from our perspective in the county, I think Joanne Northgrave, when you hook up with her, and you'll the information and the networking, because Joanne's beloved in the county, and all the different events. I think you should be invited. For example, we have the Pearl Harbor ceremony. Hoboken is one of the only cities in Jersey City that do it in the United States. We have the Memorial Day celebrations. We do so many things at the Harassment Cemetery here. And I think it'd be important for you to definitely hook up with Joanne.
Yeah.
To come to the event, spread the word. And I'd like you to, and Mayor Fulop in Jersey City is a Marine veteran. And I think that would be important for you because he's a very big supporter of veterans. Our Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee is a Marine veteran. Myself, I'm a police a veteran, and I think that the PBAs and the FOPs. I know that I'm on the executive board of my FOP, and I'm also involved with the PBA on the state level. We have a great president and vice president. If you should be interacting and connecting with those people to get the word out there so that they know. Maybe go to some of the meetings and, especially during these tough economic times with what's going on, the country's economy, the veterans need the help. And in Hoboken, we're trying, and Jersey City, the homeless veterans, we build housing. The county contributes to help build housing for them. So I think for them to go on to be homeowners would be really something to strive for.
Absolutely, absolutely. If there's any segment in this population that deserves to be a homeowner, it's veterans, right? They fought for this country, they served this country, they deserve to use their VA home loans, right? It's underused, statistically speaking.
Really?
It's underused.
See, that's because they don't know.
Correct.
So how do we get that message out there? And I think it's also important to give us your background. How did you wind up in the service? How did you wind up with this organization?
Yes. So how I ended up in this service. So that's actually a very good question. I was in the city. I was born and raised in the city in Washington Heights, New York, and I felt stuck, and I felt like I needed to get out. And I'm going to be honest here. I wasn't patriotic, right? I wasn't a patriotic man at the time. And I joined the military because I thought it was a good idea. And I started serving, and I served along my brothers and sisters. And I can tell you something. When I got out of the service, I'm definitely patriotic, right? I've never had such a love for a country as soon as I started to serve.
And I'm going to assume you're a son or grandson of immigrants.
I am. That is correct.
And you're in my eyes, another example of an American success story. And I think part of the problem in this country, and I may get criticized for it, is that unless you've served in some capacity, whether it be in the different branches of the armed service, whether it be with the law enforcement service, whether it be with the fire service, you don't get that understanding what it is to be team cohesion. Yes. Or to give of oneself. And those that knock the military or knock law enforcement, I think that they should step in the shoes of those that serve to understand. When I really felt proud, I was always proud, but when we were at 9/11 on top of the ground zero at the pile of rubble, your sense of duty and patriotism when you seen that American flag in the rubble. I think that the same feeling that you said you felt. It really makes you feel proud to be an
Yes.
American. For all the warts that this country may have, there's no other country like this in the world.
Correct.
And the veterans that have given the utmost. I'm named after a relative of my father who was killed in the war. So,
Sorry to hear that.
that it's, as you said, and I'd like you to just talk about that for a minute, what made you change and how you felt.
Just serving alongside my brothers and sisters, I saw how they were dedicated and committed to serving this country. It was just a different perspective. And, I began to understand what the American dream was really all about. And I took a step back and kind of saw it was just a different appreciation. And ever since then, I became in love with my country, became patriotic, right? And I love what America has to offer. I love the American dream. It's because it's true. You can make it.
Look around you, Bob Menendez,
You can.
a son of Cuban immigrants. Colin Powell, son of Jamaican
Yeah.
immigrants. I mean, to me, there wasn't a greater military role model and statesman than Colin Powell. Senator Menendez's family fleeing Cuba under communist rule. We have examples around us. And,
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's important that what you're saying is just even energizing me. And I think our school children need to hear that too. That if you're thinking about entering the service, well, when you come out, you have an opportunity to purchase a home.
Yes.
Okay? Just as if education loans to get a degree. So continue what you were saying. You grew up and then you were at high school and then thought about it, college?
Yeah.
What?
So I did my associates before I went into
Oh,
the.
nice. In what? What do you have it in?
I have it in liberal arts, my associates, and then when I got out, I finished my college degree.
Great.
I did my bachelor's.
And that probably helped inspire you and gave you that vision to get it completed.
Oh, absolutely.
What's your degree in?
Business communication from Baruch College, and I finished it. I used my GI Bill, which is another benefit from the Army or the military, I should say, paid for. Right, I didn't have to go into debt to take out.
GovX, I'm a member.
Right,
That's another
right.
benefit you do from serving. There are benefits for serving because a lot of companies realize that you're giving.
Correct.
And
Correct.
so you got your degree at Baruch, which for a lot of people that don't know, Baruch is a college in Manhattan.
Yes.
We played them in at baseball in college. They're right in the center of Manhattan.
Great school. And then after that, I went into the corporate world for about 4 months, and I'm like, what am I doing? This is not me. I'm better than this. And that's not to toot my own horn, but I came out with exponential experience, something else that the military gives you. And I'm here at an entry-level job, and I just decided to quit and join.
Well, we're going to continue this discussion with Lucas right after we come back from commercial break. God bless all you veterans out there that serve. This is Stick at Night. We'll be right back.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at any hospital, ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad. Call the number on your screen for safe haven locations or go to www.njsafehaven.org. No shame, no blame, no names. Safe Haven.
For me, I just felt like it had to be done. As an EMT, I saw things that I saw how it affected the community, and honestly, I just felt like I had to do it. My family was very against the vaccine at first, but I kind of felt the need to do it so I can kind of just let them know it's gonna be okay. It's science. It's a pandemic. There's a virus going around, and we need to stop it. And I feel like we live in an era where we have the technology to do that. It would just bring me peace as somebody in the front lines. That's the only word I can say, is just peace, because I saw people that had passed away, and I saw how it affected their families, being in that moment when we had to tell them, they're no longer here. So living in a world with no pandemic, honestly, it just kind of it would make me feel more peaceful. When that peak happened of COVID, let me tell you, I was working maybe like 4 days because they needed the extra manpower. We needed extra trucks on, and we had help from FEMA. Not to mention, our call volume is normally between 5 to 8 jobs on a 12-hour shift. when COVID hit, it was literally nonstop. And they were all COVID related, every single one of them. Once this whole thing is over, I would love to see everybody to just be in a place where they don't have to be scared to give out hugs or handshakes or just, just to say hi, They don't have to hide in their own, residence.
Hudson TMA reminds you that a bicycle is considered a vehicle. When you ride a bike, you must obey the rules of the road.
Ride single file in the same direction as traffic. Obey traffic signs and signals. Signal your turns and look behind you before you turn. And always stay alert.
Welcome back to Stick at Night. Let's continue with our guest, Lucas Reyes from Home at Last. So go ahead, Lucas. How did you wind up meeting Home at Last?
Yeah, so I got into Home. I met Home at Last because I was already a licensed real estate agent. So I was already in the real estate business, and I was within their networks of preferred real estate agents. And Michael said, we got connected through another veteran that I know. And finally, Michael says to me after working 3 years with him, he says, "Listen, Lucas, I see that you're looking to build your own military business. You have a military background, you have a military community. I have that. I have this not-for-profit organization that serves veterans, as you know. Come work with me. I need the help." And then I finally said, "Okay, sure, why not?" Right? And that's how I got involved with Home at Last.
Do you how fundraising? Tell us about. Do you fundraise?
So we're beginning to fundraise now. We just hired a fundraiser so they can do a lot of fundraisers. Most of our funds come from private donations, small grants, but we need more money on a higher level. So this is why we.
Well, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. When people donate to a lot of organizations, they find out later on that the majority of the money doesn't get to the people it should. That there's administrative costs, salaries.
Sure.
How is your fundraiser going to handle that? Just for the benefits of those that are watching the show. If they want to donate, they want to know the money's going to the veterans.
Absolutely, absolutely. So they should know that many of the other services that we provide to our veterans, that a lot of the cost goes to, is providing free home warranty for the first year. We have networks of banks that do not charge bank fees,
wow.
Right? Because banks
See,
are
these are good things to know.
Oh, absolutely. Banks are allowed to charge you legally. Able to charge you up to 1% of the purchase price in bank fees, right? So the networks of banks that we work with, they don't do that. We're also providing, free home inspections, right? It's going to be paid for. Those are some of the free services we're providing with some of the funding that we get.
Wow, and I think that's important. In this county and in this area, there's a lot of people that want to help and want to donate. So I think it's important that you get that message out there that this is what that you're looking to do.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What is your next goal here to do? What's your first step that you want to do next? When you walk out the door today, where are you heading and what are you going to do?
So I'm actually going to go back to my office, do a couple more outreach.
Where your office is in?
So New York, right? But I've built a small office in my home, so I call that my little office. And I'm going to do a little bit more outreach, speak with the veteran service organizations that we've already spoken with, and translate that into something, right? We've gotten yeses, now it's time to translate that into action, right? It's time to walk the talk, as I like to say, and see how we can be on the same page and provide more information, more resources for our veterans.
And you're gonna follow up, right, with Joan Northgrave?
I am.
And John Carey in Hoboken and Tony Goodson in Jersey City. Tony runs the VFW post here.
Okay.
And I think I'm gonna make sure you have all 3 phone numbers.
Great.
And put you in touch with them because we need a collaborative effort here. We can never forget our veterans.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll all get involved with you helping with the fundraiser. And I think Mayor Fulop being and also the public safety director here. A former deputy chief of New York PD, Jimmy Shea, is a Marine veteran, and he's really, really devoted to the Corps.
Yeah.
So I think that you have access to people here that will gladly jump in and help. You have Mayor Sacco in North Bergen. He's a very big supporter of the veterans. Mayor Bala in Hoboken. So you have a group that I think that you can. When you should meet with them And you know, the county executive is Tom DeGeese is always supporting the veterans events. So you have a good support team here. Unlike New York, where your former mayor had nothing to do, but you know, I won't comment. Okay, but Eric Adams, I'm sure, is going to be again a man who served as in the police department. I'm sure that he will be more accessible and more open to supporting those you know that served. So tell us more, some ideas that you have going forward that you want to see as success, how you want to get into these groups.
Yeah, so you know, I think getting into these groups is the first step, right? But I think the long success here, as I mentioned before, is being able to help those veterans.
Do you have a staff? In other words, if veterans come to you, they're going to be, some are shy, some may say, oh, this mound of paperwork, what do I do? So do you have a staff, or does everybody have to wait for you?
No, of course not. So we do have board members. They help out. They contribute, right? They spread the brand awareness. They help me out with the day-to-day task. So it's not like they have to wait on me to speak with me. So we do have a team, and please, if any of them want to reach out, they can certainly do so.
And I'm sure that if someone is, there's a language barrier sometimes, you also be able to overcome that with your team.
That's right.
We
So
go ahead.
I myself speak Spanish. Some of my board members speak Spanish as well. So we definitely have a little bit of diversity of language there.
Oh, Castellano or Dominican with the?
Dominicano.
But it's all good, and I think that the enthusiasm, even my producer here showed that for helping the veterans. And you know, we're going to put something on the shelf about the veterans, so we want to always include them for the service. But I'm going to stay in communication with you, because I want to see some signs here that we're reaching into our people here who need it, that would love to buy a home.
Absolutely.
And we have a lot of young veterans.
Yeah.
And from Afghan and Iraq. And a lot of times they're not even joining the veterans associations. And I think that, maybe going to different city halls and putting up some signs, that would be a good idea.
Yes.
That's something that you should do, get the message out to businesses, the Hudson County Chamber of Commerce. I think
I've spoken to them actually.
Yes,
So,
okay.
those-
To Maria?
Yeah, I did spoke to
Yes,
Maria.
Okay,
So.
I'm a member also, so anything we could do there. I think it's important that you get to the people that can get the message out.
Okay.
And, so we look forward to either hearing from you, seeing you again. For those of you in the audience, all your information is going to be on the screen, so we can contact Lucas. And please, if you are interested in buying a home, Lucas is here to help you all. We thank everyone for the service that they've given. Lucas, any last comments before we sign off?
I just wanted to thank you, of course, once again for having me on your show, for spreading the awareness, the resources that we provide. Again, if there's any veteran out there that was looking for help navigating the home buying process, please feel free to give us a call. All of our services is free to you.
Well, I want to sign in all our county buildings. Cornelison, but where we have a lot of veterans that work for the county, and they could see it up there that they know. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Not everyone is on social media, and I'm sure you have a social media platform too.
We do.
Okay, well, that's important, but again, for a lot of people that aren't, they'll come in and see that. For example, we have a civil service test coming up. A lot of people just see the signs we posted. Oh, we didn't know. For Stick at Night, I'm your Commissioner, Anthony L. Romano. Stay safe, be well, God bless the veterans.